This is the TheAmpHour podcast, recorded October 10th, 2023, episode number 647 with Fran Blanche. Welcome to the TheAmpHour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Fran from Those There Internets. Again.
Part of the furniture again, Fran. Number 4 at least on the TheAmpHour? Four.
And we only do this like every 10 years, so...
right, okay, so we're at least 40. Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
At least...
We were talking about just before the show. We should have hit record before the. You watched a 2-hour documentary on HBO or something in the America.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. It's about Australia. Tell us what the heck happened.
Well, Well, did you pull up the page on that yet?
Actually, I've got the tab. I can actually pull it over now, and I will do. Sorry for those. We are recording video here. Okay, I can do this.
Okay.
I have the tools. I think.
We're going to edit this in post.
Right. Here we go. I got it. And ta-da, we are in. Look at that.
Oh,
Look at
there
that.
he is.
There he is. We
killed Patty.
Who killed Patty? Sorry, this has nothing to do with electronics at all.
No,
it's an Australianism, and it's a documentary about this tiny Northern Territory town called Larrimah. Larrimah. In fact, I think I must have heard about this on the news at the time, but I didn't know there was a documentary. It's like a tin pot town, but what are they? 30 people or something live in this tin pot town?
There's only like 6 people in the whole documentary. But it starts out with that. Well, it's total spoilers, but it starts out with them, being really, we all get along and everything. And then like 10 minutes in, you find out that they all hate each other and want to kill each other. And so everyone accuses everyone else of killing Patty, even though there's no body. And they trace it back to the Great Meat Pie War of 2018 or something, where Fran, who has the tea house, who doesn't drink, is making her famous camel meat pies. And then she's getting some business from tourists. And then the pub across the street, they make their original famous Larrimah meat pies to compete with her and pull her business away. And Patty disappears, and they think that Fran killed him and fed him to a crocodile.
This is great, and I'm pulling up the video and the name of the tea house. Is this the original pie?
That's the house, strangely elevated house in the middle of nowhere.
Yep, which is common. The stilt houses are quite common here if they're in a flood-prone area.
Yeah,
anyway, it's called Fran's Tea House.
Yeah.
So and the guy who says he admits any wrongdoing. He looks suspiciously like Chopper Reed. Have you heard of Chopper Reed?
Yeah. He's got the thing on the Chopper beard.
Right. Okay. So you've heard of Chopper Reed.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
He was fodder for the reality news shows of the mid late 90s.
Right.
But all these characters, it's like the most Australian thing I've ever seen. It's all about wars about dogs, meat pies.
There's a guy on a ride on Esky.
Oh, there's a lot of ATV stuff, and prime suspect is a crocodile, used.
So I reckon there's a crocodile involved. Okay.
It's got everything.
Oh, this is great. Okay, I'm going to have to watch this. Oh,
yeah. It's pretty riveting.
Oh, great. Okay, I'm going to have to watch that. How did that get on HBO and not here? Like
Who knows?
Yeah, because
Who
you said it
knows?
was a You said it was a an
Probably
American, maybe American or Canadian
American
produced
made,
documentary.
probably.
Okay,
Yeah, I
interesting.
guess.
All right.
I think the
Well,
last time you and I were on like did something like this was for the original Artemis launch that got scrubbed.
yes,
Didn't
that's
actually
right.
launch,
Yeah,
but
no,
we
and then
did like a 2-hour.
yep, and then we ended up doing a separate independent stream when it did actually launch, didn't we? I don't think we were.
I
Don't
was
think we.
when it launched. You were doing something else. It was in
Oh,
the
was I?
like middle of the night for you when it.
Oh, yeah.
No, was
Oh,
it?
that's right. It was. Was it? Yeah.
Because was it a nighttime launch eventually? Was it a nighttime?
Yes. Yes, it was. Yes. Oh,
So it was
have
like
you seen?
it was like 3 in the morning for you. All right. Well, while Dave is getting his thing,
I've got memorabilia
oh,
from that launch. I have a signed. Look at that. A signed picture of Billy and the crew. That's the red crew, they call themselves, which went out and fixed the hydrogen leak. And there's Billy there, if you can, for those watching. And yeah, and that's Bill Nelson, of course, the administrator. And Billy has been there 35 years, and he actually worked on Bill Nelson's shuttle launch. So back in the 80s. So that's how, like, you know, oh, it's just unbelievable. Anyway, yeah, because I did a video on Billy. I did a specific video on Billy, which they passed around down there, and they saw it and they liked it. So they sent me they sent me a signed, autographed photo of the crew. So that was very nice of them. That's
great. A keeper.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, Artemis. When's Artemis 2? Whenever.
They keep pushing it back. Honestly, it might not launch because the last thing that I read was that the budget. There's at NASA. There's an administrator that just does the budgeting, and they did an audit of the whole program and found that it's so far behind schedule and so over budget that they wouldn't authorize any more money to go to Boeing or any other contractors. It's like a whole slew of contractors to do Artemis, but they were so late with the second rocket, and they're so over budget that they weren't going to allocate any more money. So I'm not sure. See, the thing is, if SpaceX gets their launch approval, new license for Starship, it would be very hard to sell the idea of a rocket that's like $4.5 billion a shot, completely disposable, against Starship, which is going to be completely reusable. It's like the problem is that the Space Launch System, it's a great rocket for 1974.
Right.
It's a great mid-70s launch system.
Yep.
But it's just got no place. A $4 billion, completely disposable, once and done rocket in this day and age. It's just a pork belly program.
At least partial reuse. Like if you can't do the upper stages or something. Maybe.
Well, at least I have no idea why they didn't even want to recover the solid rocket boosters like they did in the shuttle age.
Yeah, because these are all reused boosters from the shuttle. These are they've already gone up multiple ones. Yeah, multiple times.
The first one was partially reused. The next one's going to be all new sections.
Oh, but, is it? Okay, right.
Yeah, but and you why not recover the center stage with parachutes that you can reuse the engines, or or try to, or jettison the engines. But they didn't even design. There was no consideration to make any part of it even somewhat reusable. So it really has no place. It's a red herring already. It's already decades past its date.
But it worked, and it worked first go. So,
it worked, of course.
yeah,
It damn well better have worked.
right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, imagine if it blew up like that. That would have been the end of it. They would have.
It would have been the end
Yeah,
of the program, I'm sure.
yeah, 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 totally.
But it might be the end of the program just because of the cost.
Yep.
You know, it's classic NASA pork barrel because
Yeah.
people complain about NASA wasting money, NASA, but I always have to remind people that it's not NASA that makes these decisions; it's Congress. You know, we have
Yes, they control the purse strings.
Congress controls not only the purse strings, but really largely Congress decides what NASA does. So NASA has a laundry list of things it wants to do: planetary exploration, vehicles, research. And people think that all NASA does is launch big rockets, whereas 80% of what NASA does is aeronautical research. Jet engines, aeronautics, new wing configurations, plane designs. That's like the majority of what NASA does as far as projects. But majority of the money goes to these really, really big, lifting projects. Yep. And because of that, because Congress allocates this, they say, well, we want a moon rocket. You're going to build a moon rocket and we'll give you X billion dollars for that. And here's the kicker. You've got to use contractors in every single one of our states.
Yeah.
So you can't build your own facility. All of our constituents that are going to vote for this, you've got to have contractors in our state to build parts of that. And then you're going to put this Frankenstein monster together and it's going to work. And you're going to do it on time and under budget, and it never happens. And so it goes years over time, and it goes billions over budget, and that's the way it goes. And then everybody who hears about the cost overruns, they blame NASA for it when they've got nothing to do with it. They're given a mandate from Congress, and they're given a budget from Congress, and they're given all these restrictions. They can't just build it in one spot. They can't just use one contractor. They've got to spread it around, spread the money. And then, SpaceX is building one system in one place for like pennies on the dollar for what Space Launch System costs. And so it's like, that's, I personally, for as great as a rocket as Space Launch System is, I would like them to just stop doing it. Right. And put the money where they'll actually get results. Because it turns out that, they got Artemis 3, it's going to be a Starship anyway. It's not even going to be an SLS rocket.
Oh, really?
They've already agreed that. Well, because they said...
is that new? Is that new news?
Well, the last thing I read is that Artemis 3 was going to be a Starship.
But Starship's not human rated. Are they going to now plan to make it human rated?
Artemis 3 is not going to be... apparently it's not going to be personed, but that they were going to try but it. Oh,
that'll be a soft landing trial, will it, or something?
I don't know. I mean, I've become confused by the whole thing because
it's a mess.
The intermix of the original Artemis, which was going to be all Boeing and all SLS, now it's like, well, we don't have the funding to actually complete SLS, but SpaceX are going to have Starship running, so let's just use them for Artemis. So I don't know.
Boy, no. And then Lunar Gateway is still a thing, right? They're still using the Gateway.
Again, it's like
concept.
Are they going to build Lunar Gateway if SpaceX is going to have Starships? Doing the
but Starship. Well, I mean, the whole idea was that the Artemis would take them to and from the Lunar Gateway, and the Starship was only the lander option. That was all Starship was. That was the original plan. Starship was only going to be the lunar lander. It was just going to take them from the Gateway down.
But no one even has a lunar lander.
No, design. I mean, no. They just changed that recently. I haven't kept up on the news, but I did hear they had scrapped. Had they scrapped Starship for the lunar lander now? I think, and they had,
like I said, it's all happening so.
Every month there's a change in direction.
Blur.
It's just nuts. Oh boy. Anyway,
But
my Spidey sense is still not strong on Starship. I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's trying to be a jack of all trades, and I do know that jack of all trades usually don't work. They usually come a gutser. So I hope not. Hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. That's my Spidey sense.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
Fingers
see.
crossed. Oh goodness. Oh boy. So yeah, we just can't keep up on the space news. Sorry, people. Just can't do it.
Well, I don't think even they know what's going on.
No, it's just a mess. Anyway, we have I'll share this with you. We have a question on Twitter from Apodicta. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Wants to know what's the story behind this? You built this tube as we call them here. Tube testing rack at EHX. Is that a company that you used to work for, or?
Electroharmonics. Yeah, that's the first one right there.
Right. Well, what's the story behind that?
Well, there's a blog page. Explains everything. If you Google it, you'll find my my old blog page from the aughts, where I did the backstory of the whole thing.
Okay.
J.C. Morrison was the lead designer. He designed the whole thing. I built it, most of it myself, and yeah, it was a whole convoluted thing. It was just one of those paid assignments. You know, I got paid by the hour, but basically they wanted to burn in tubes so that they could be matched, because with amplifier tubes, you have to put some hours on them for them to stabilize their transconductance, and so if you want to do matched pairs in amplifiers, they really have to be run for a while to stabilize, and then after they've run for a certain number of hours, like 8, 10, 12 hours.
Wow, that's actually quite a lot.
Yeah, well,
so it's not temperature. There's some other factor, because I would have thought that the heater would get them up to temperature.
It's not just that; they're run under load too. So those racks were automated. We used stepper motors from an old telephone exchange system. Had the multi-wiper stepper.
Yeah, that moved the contacts and moved the multi-wipers around.
Basically, I built, it's all electromechanical, so I built a timer system that would trip that, and it could be set. So, and basically it would switch racks and rows. So it would go through time cycles, turn on. Basically, the heaters would be on the whole time, and they'd be on standby, and then it would put the racks under load alternately. So it's like there's 8 racks per. So 8 or 10 racks, but it would put the racks under load for a measured period of time, and it would do this. They would run them all night, and then the next day they'd be pretty well baked. Pull them out, and then they go to the other machine, which was the tester, and Mike Abram built that one, and so the tester was all automated. I think it was running with Windows 3.11 or maybe Windows 95, but it would go through and it would test the parameters. So it would run each tube individually in the tester and put it through these various cycles, take measurements, and then based on that, the tubes would be matched based on how they tested and that stuff. That was a long time ago. That was 98, 99. 2000.
Yep.
So
I still had production test racks running Windows 3.11 into the late 2000s. It was still easy, like it was just it was nuts.
When I had my circuit boards made, was that 2016, 17? But yeah, they had a testing jig in there that was running like Windows 3.
Yeah.
It's very common. People just don't understand that in industry, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No,
so
you don't
there's
fix
a
it.
lot of old machines running in industry, running CNC mills and testing gear and everything. You know, they build it around a system in 1992, 3, whatever.
Yeah,
and you just
stays
keep
it.
that part. You know,
You have to maintain it. Yeah.
You know, you don't update it to Windows 11. It doesn't work that way.
Yep.
You know, you got to keep the old stuff running.
There are still industrial computer companies that make machines designed for DOS and Windows 3.11. They still make them. You know, like the little form factor PC 104 form factor boards and stuff like that. They still make them with DOS in ROM, so that you can build up, so that you can boot up instantly to DOS in ROM, and they still make them. Like, it's just nuts. But
I really liked Windows 3.11.
Oh, yeah,
3.11 was, I mean, it could be buggy, but I really liked the file system. I don't think, I mean, XP is pretty good with the file system, but the modern systems, even Windows 10 bothers the hell out of me. The software designers that design Explorer, it's like, do you actually, it's like every time that I'm trying to use Explorer, I'm screaming to myself, do these software developers actually use computers?
Yeah, right.
It's like, for me, a computer is just one thing. It's files and applications. That's it.
Right.
And 80% of everything I do with a computer, I want to be able to access my files. I want to organize files. It's just files. It's just a file tree. Why does it have to be so hard? Why does it have to be so convoluted? Why isn't it to show you the whole thing, the whole tree? As soon as you open it up, boom, it shows you exactly what you want.
Oh, I had a nightmare the last month on Twitter. I backed up all my videos, right? So I backed up, like I kept them on my NAS RAID thing, right? And I tried to back them all up. Then once I backed them all up onto my separate hard drives, I went, right, delete. And then it tried to delete. Like I tried to delete hundreds of directories which contained like 10,000 video files or something, and it wouldn't delete them because there's these hidden network files that Windows puts on the drive, and like I was going to have to do them like one by one. It wouldn't do it, and it was just like, and I had to put it on Twitter, and people were giving me these convoluted workaround systems with command lines trying to get rid of these files, and like, oh god, it was a nightmare. And in the end I had to end up using the file manager inside the NAS box. I had to use that actual file manager to kill the files. Windows couldn't do it. I could not do it under Windows. It was nuts. So
yeah, I run into similar walls, where well, it's like I'm still on Windows 10. I won't go to Windows 11 until they get every last bug out of it.
Yep.
But yeah, lots of things. In certain in certain configurations of Explorer, you can't just drag and drop or cut and paste, or you can't create a new file window. It's like that there are little caveats where it won't do that here. You have to set this up over there and do it over there. It's like, no, I want to do it here. But that's why I think, when you boil it down, 3.11 had, for me, the perfect file management system. Right. I mean, it wouldn't work in a system today because it's so vulnerable, but it was just, everything was there. It was just totally like naked, it's like, boom, it's all right there. You can do everything everywhere. It's like, well, we don't want you to do that because you might accidentally delete that file that you really want, and you don't want to move those files. You just want to play them all in Media Player right now, because that's the problem. I just want to like grab these files, move them over here. I grab them, move them over here, and it doesn't do that. It just plays them. Oh no, you want to sweep over those files and play them on Media Player? No, who wants to do that? No, I want to move them. So it's like all the
God.
I could bitch and moan about it all day.
Yep. Oh boy.
But yeah. No. Yeah, it's like software developers. They're probably, programming Windows, but they're using Macs at home because it's like,
right.
You don't want to do that. That's
I can feel the pain.
Mac, all Apple software it Apple software, it just has, it's all built under one moniker. Oh, no, you don't want to do that.
Oh, God. So do you own any Apple products?
No.
No.
I did, early, early on, in the aught side, I got I got a big Power Mac, and I really wanted to like Apple, but it's not a computer. It's an entertainment
It's an appliance, is it?
Yeah, it's a television. It's a smart TV. It's like, like I said, for me, a computer is just two things. It's files and applications.
Yes.
And 80% of everything that you do on a computer is just file management. And that's the one thing that Apple will not let you do.
Right.
Yeah. It won't let you.
I have so little experience, I don't know. Yep.
It's just, and the other thing about Apple stuff as opposed to like PC is, I want to have options. I want to be able to have control parameters. I want to set it up my way. I want to have options about what I can do in this application. And that's another thing that you don't get with Windows stuff. It's like, you don't want to do that. You do it this way. Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. Just push this button. Do it that way. Yeah.
Sounds like there's something happening outside your...
there's always something happening.
There's always something. You hear the sirens wailing in the background.
Center City, Philly. It's 100% Philly out there.
Right, 100% Philly. How's it going? Have they jacked up your rent again? How's inflation impacting you? Yeah. They will. Okay. When's the next rate review? Is it yearly or is it? They recently, I got another notice for the storage. My storage. Oh, what's happening with the storage? No, not the storage.
I am paying right now. I'm paying 5 times what I was paying 7 years ago when I set up the vaults. I'm paying 5 times. It's 500%.
What?
Yeah.
Is it a similar location, similar size, similar location?
It's the same freaking place.
Oh, it's the same place.
Yeah. There's no other options. As far as like environmentally controlled, quasi-environmentally controlled storage, there's really only like 2 options in Philly. Although people will go on Google and say, "No, Fran, you're wrong. Look at all these places." Well, physically go to those places and you'll find that they are not actually that.
Right. They are just, there's something, right.
Environmental control, you find out that it's just a fan blowing the 100-degree air around.
So environmental control, is that because it's like underground storage, or do they have air cons running? What's the...
Well, they don't actually control the temperature enough for it to be climate controlled. So after I got the leases, they changed the policy because they don't actually have the power, because it's like a 500 BTU heat exchanger for like this 30,000 square foot floor or whatever.
Right.
So so in the summertime it gets up to like 90 degrees in there, even though it's supposed to be climate controlled. In the wintertime they let it get down to like 40 degrees, and that's supposed to be climate controlled. And
what?
And so I was complaining about it so much that they changed the policy where they went in the elevators where it says climate controlled floors and they Sharpied out the word controlled. And when you go to the front desk and you complain to the manager says, "No, it's not climate controlled. It's the climate floors.
It's the
climate floors." I said, "What does that mean, climate floors?" So it's the climate floors. I said, "Explain to me how a floor can be climate."
What?
I said, "Explain to me the definition of how the floor of a building can be climate." So that's what it is now. It's the climate floor, because they legally couldn't say climate controlled anymore, but they're not saying climate controlled because they want people to move in there thinking it's climate controlled, but they say, no, it's the climate floor. I want to be clear on that.
God.
It's the climate floor. Because it's between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's like it's a climate in that range. But it's still costing me a fortune. Just the storage.
500% in the same place, the same building.
It's over $1,000 just the vault. over $1,000 a month. It's like 12,000 a year. Yeah, the operating costs of Fran Lab are astronomical.
Oh, it's huge. Oh my God, I was lucky to get my storage units. It's like, they're as climate controlled as you get because they're underground. They're like in a concrete underground vault, so it really doesn't, temperature doesn't change. In fact, I moved my storage array hard drives down there because it's actually cooler than the lab here. Because the lab, if I don't turn my aircon on, gets up to 27 degrees in summertime. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it gets uncomfortably warm. So
before the place where the vault is now, I tried a lease. I did have a lease for like 2 weeks in a facility that was supposed to be, nice and cool because it was in a floor basement. The problem was that it was 100% humidity and full of mold.
No.
I was in the process of setting up the shelves, and I was like, it's like too freaking damp in here. And I bought like a humidistat and a thermometer humidistat, put it down there for a couple days. And it was ranging like 95, 98% humidity. And it was like, everything's going to be mildew damage and water. Yeah. It's like, no. So I had to cancel the lease. I got out of the lease because it's like, but that's the problem with Philadelphia is that virtually everywhere that you want to store, it's either a damp basement or a really hot attic, or there's no temperature control at all. So it's going to be like 120 degrees Fahrenheit, like 45 degrees Celsius in the summertime, and summertime in Philadelphia, we're talking May to November.
Right. I didn't realize it got that hot in Philly.
It's over 95 degrees every day.
Oh, wow.
Beginning in May and ending in October somewhere. Huh. 85 Fahrenheit. We're talking Fahrenheit. Yeah. But every day it's like 95, 96, 97 every single day.
Wow, that's
with no break. And this is the thing, they say, well, it's not technically like that hot because it cools down to 85 at night. So it's an average temperature like 91 degrees. That's not that hot. It's like, but it's 95, 97 degrees every day for 8 months.
Oh, God. No, that's
But yeah, Fran Lab, it's costing an ever-loving fortune just because the rents are unreasonably high. And then people are going to, the next thing when people watch this, like, all right, Fran, you're stupid, you don't know, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, apparently you haven't tried to buy a property in the last 5 years.
Oh.
It's
worse now. It was bad enough like 3 years ago, like actually like before COVID. Now it's just nuts. Or it is not, here anyway.
It's worse than people understand because unless you're actually actively in the market buying real estate, you have no clue of how weird it is. There was a story where in the suburbs now, what they consider traditional first home, homes, they used to be like, $130,000 to $200,000, single family dwellings, first home. There are whole areas, whole towns where 80, 90% of all the homes are being bought up by these speculation firms, like corporations. And they're out buying families with cash, paying like above market, like 20%, 30% above market, paying cash just to take the property from like an actual like person or family, and creating whole neighborhoods of rental proprietties. So so that you don't have a choice. You literally can't buy even with money in hand, because unless you have like $250,000 in actual like cash and you're willing to pay 30% above market, there's no chance of you even getting that property. And that's the reality just about everywhere in the United States. It's like every town, every state. If you think you're going to get a property with a mortgage and you don't have like immense amounts of capital, forget it. You're not getting that property. It's being bought with cash buy a company that's gonna, you know, keep the equity and rent it out to a family
Yes.
or to you.
Yep.
And so you literally cannot get out of the rental market in the U.S. once you're in it, unless you have you have to have millions of dollars in cash, you know. So yeah,
It's nuts.
there's no way. Fran Lab takes up like 3,000 square feet, and it's not like house space. It's like, you know, cement floor space. So if I were going to move the whole thing lock, stock, and barrel, I'd need like 3,000 square feet, and you know, and I'd have to buy it in cash, and there's just no way. It's like I'd have to do this for another 30, 40 years to get enough
to
money.
Save up the cash. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just nuts. It's going mad here too. And there, you know, there's always talk about, well, in fact, I think they are letting people dip into their superannuation savings or their 401k to you Yanks. Yeah, they're letting people actually for their deposit. So they allow you to dip into that to get your deposit for the house because it's that desperate.
It doesn't make a difference at all because you're going to be outbid.
Yeah, exactly. Buyer. Yes, exactly.
Like
the Chinese cash buyers here are, yep.
Yeah, pile on as much as I'd imagine over there too with the Asian market, but you know, but it's just an impossible game to crack unless you've got just immense amounts of money, and you know, we're talking millions of dollars in liquid assets. You know, it's just not doable. But my best scenario plan is to keep funding up for at least the next 2 years until I can get the next thing going. Just try to limp it along.
Well, hopefully you don't have to move Fran Lab again. Does the rent in your current building, does the lease seem solid at the moment? Although I guess you thought that the last 3 times, right?
Yeah, the harsh reality is it's never solid.
It's never solid. Unbelievable.
You know, there's no every property is always for sale. And the building I'm in now, they came through, like buyers came through like 6 months ago. They did like a whole building inspection. I thought for sure they were going to flip the building. Turned out that they didn't sell the building, but they did sell the people who own this building. They did sell a building that they had across the street. So they did sell a building.
Right.
So I think it's just a matter of time. You know, it's just a matter of time. And when a building gets sold, you're gone, you know.
Right.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you know, you got a lease, you got rights." It's no, like that they on purpose. The lease is only 12 months. They'll know, you know, when it's out, they don't renew it. You're out, and that's the game. So I mean, my best hope is another 2 years, keep it going. Try to find the financing, you know, try to keep the support up for another 24 months, and. But that's about the best hope. I think after that, it's like wishful thinking, you know.
Right.
But I do think, you know, if I have to move again, it's just it's going to be a huge chop. I'm not going to Fran Lab the way it is right now. It's not going to continue. It's too big. I wouldn't want to move it all.
Yeah, no, I am not moving. No, I'm not doing the move thing again. Screw that. I'm just, no. No.
Too old.
Yep.
I'm too old.
No. Yep. Exactly.
I'm older than all you lot. I don't, of all the YouTubers, is anyone older than me? I think I'm the oldest one. I don't know.
I don't know. Mike is your age, I think. I think Mike's a bit older than me, I think. You're a bit older.
I think I'm the oldest.
Possibly. Okay.
I think I'm the oldest. If not in years, definitely I've got more miles.
Right.
Definitely got more mileage.
Project years or something, we'll call it.
Yeah. Right. It's not the years, it's the mileage, Dave.
Mileage, yeah, exactly. I use that term all the time with Mrs. EEV blog. It's not the years, it's the mileage. Yep.
So let me ask you, Dave, have you imagined a future, like we're talking like 2-3 years in the future, when YouTube is all shorts?
Yeah, it's all shorts, right?
I mean, imagine a world where all entertainment is 60 seconds.
Is 60-second entertainment. Yeah, I get.
Is that the future? Is the future where all entertainment is, where there's no more feature films, there's no more movies, and all TV shows are 60 seconds. Yep. All movies are, you go to the theater, it's 60 seconds, boom, that's it.
No, well, no, I don't think so. There's hope. You know, Tom Scott, he makes these short, he goes, visits locations, and he makes these short little excellent videos about all these different places he goes. You've seen Tom Scott, surely?
I'm sure.
Right. Okay. Anyway, he normally does, like, he travels all over the world, goes to these fantastic, unusual locations and stuff. And he went to Chile to visit. I think it's Chile, to visit the world's largest world's largest optical telescope. Right, I can't remember, what is it? The Very Large Telescope or something like that. And normally he goes there for 5 minutes. It really bugs me. He goes there for he travels around the world and he shoots 5 minutes worth of video, and that's it. This time he shot like 30, like his video was like 25, 30 minutes long, and it was awesome. And it was like everyone in the comments was going, "This is great. Please do these longer videos," And unfortunately, he's actually retiring soon. He's been in it 10 years. He's been making a video every week for 10 years, and he's had enough, so he's given it up. Just as his fan base were moving over from, he built his fan base based on these short little 5-minute videos, and now he's, he was doing these fantastic long form ones, and everyone said it was great. Please do more, and he's going to quit. So, oops. But no, I've got hope that long form content is still the thing.
Well, let's talk a little about video equity, because you and I, we've made a few videos over the years, and it seems to me that this happens. I'm sure it happens to you too. I'm sure it happens to all the content creators who've been making videos for like a decade, is that you'll make a video about something, and then there'll be a comment like, what about this other thing that's related to this? You should do that. And it's like, well, no, I already did that video. I did that video like 8 years ago, and I'll link it in. Here it is. But YouTube won't bring that old video back with someone asked for that subject, So there was some, YouTube gives you those helpful hints in the studio, like, try doing a community post about an old video.
Yeah, right.
You might bring it back. Well, I tried doing that.
Nudge, wink, wink, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, that's what I do. I thought, well, Monday, people don't really watch videos, so maybe I'll go through, and every Monday I'll do like a flashback, like a highlighted video. So I was doing this for a few weeks, and like 4 people watch, is like 4 views.
Right.
This doesn't work.
It isn't even worth your time to do that post, to actually make that post. Yeah.
So channels like ours that have all this video equity, like thousands of videos in the tank, right?
Yeah. I've got 3,000 or something.
How do you bring any of that to the forefront for searches? It's like someone makes a video about a Nemo tube. Let's say someone finds a Nemo tube. Make a, does my video from way back, does it even come up? I don't know. Yep. Does someone does something about driving a Nixie tube? Well, does my video that I did a tutorial about that years ago, does that get brought up? Probably no. So it's like,
it's just luck. It's just based on the algorithm. Yeah, I've got like a handful of videos that will always keep popping up, and they will actually do probably half of my views per month is like a handful of old videos out of like 3,000 videos or whatever. They will do the bulk of my monthly, or half of my monthly views, because the algorithm just keeps feeding those. But the other ones just vanish into obscurity.
So you would have to you'd have to literally re-upload the video as a new video, a redundant copy, to get it to be seen again.
To get it to be seen again, yes. Yep. It's nuts. I don't know how the algorithm...
What would YouTube do if we started doing that? I mean, what would the algorithm do if we started uploading old videos?
Exactly. Again,
back on the map.
I don't know. I've been re-uploading old videos onto X. I was going to do it like every day. Like every day I was going to like post a new video on X, and not a link to the actual YouTube video, but an actual video file. I was going to upload it to X/Twitter, and that was reasonably popular, but I just got too
they don't
lazy
support
and I couldn't.
1080p 60 though. It's like
Not 60. No, they will do 1080p, but it's heavily compressed.
and
I
it's
think.
they're using like 10 or 12-year-old compression algorithms.
Yeah.
For that platform. So it's like it's not a video platform. I don't know how they're so
yes.
if it's not 1080p
Yep.
60 with a modern codec, why are people who's gonna I guess they're expecting people to watch it on their phone, like a tiny little thumbnail on the phone.
And especially our type of content where, you're doing teardowns and you have to see detail, or I'm doing a tutorial screenshot and every pixel has to map. Otherwise it looks like crap because I'm showing a data sheet or a web page or something. And, like you can't just view it on your shoe phone. It doesn't work.
Well, even YouTube, even the YouTube, the authorities at YouTube, they seem to think that everybody wants to watch videos on their phone. Where I don't watch videos on the phone. I always watch it on my main PC. I've got a rig, and I guess they think people don't own rigs anymore. That people don't have big ass monitors.
I watch most of my content on the PC, and I think 70% of my audience watch it on a rig, on an actual PC. I think it's only 30% mobile or something.
So this is what worries me about e-YouTubing. What is the future of e-tubing? And, is YouTube even going to support the idea of, people watching on their PCs, long form videos in high definition? Is it even going to be a part of the mysterious algorithm? Is the whole is the whole area of e-tubing, is it just going to be relegated to to the little kiddie table in the back the back room?
Yeah, right. Do they need some radical change in sort of how they display things, how they present things, how they search things? Do they like how they curate content? But I feel as though it's needed, but I don't know what form it would take. I don't know.
The problem is that the algorithm is a catch-all, be-all it's a global, like you said about your misgivings about Starship, about it being like a universal tool.
Jack of all trades,
like the combination hammer, screwdriver, soldering iron,
right.
calculator.
It's
usually not the go-to tool.
You're right.
But YouTube is trying to do that with the algorithm. It's taking this global audience of how many billions of users now? It's like billions of users. And trying to have one way of everybody finding everything. Yeah. And the world's not built like that.
It's not built like that. Almost each genre, I'm not going to say each individual creator, but at least you could break it down to genres like us, like our little niche, right?
There's clearly genres on YouTube.
and we have a specific type of audience who want information presented in a specific way. Usually it's long form content, and usually it's high definition, and usually it's, and we have like, multi-part series as well, and like, how do you sort of, or things that are grouped together. Yeah, there's playlists, but who the hell uses playlists? It's like, no, I don't know. That's why I'm thinking there's got to be some radical change, but what that is, I don't know. I guess it requires someone to come up with some really smart idea that works, but I don't know.
I think that whatever would need to be done will not be done, because it would not. It wouldn't make YouTube more profitable. It would just make it easier to use and better.
Right. You don't want that.
But no, I mean, really the future of YouTube, if it were to work as a platform, would be that YouTube would have to be smaller.
Right. Yep.
Smaller, microcosms, not like this panacea.
Yep. Yep. It's almost as if like I want to like flip the interface, like flip YouTube into being just for my little genre. I want to be able to like flip a mode switch or something and like have it, I don't know, optimized for the content that I want. In terms of search, in terms of recommendations, in terms of, the way the content's displayed, shorts I don't want, go away, I want sort of, but you're right. It's not going to happen.
The recommendation, like the video recommendations are comical, it's trying to get me to watch all kinds of bullshit content. And, it's like, why doesn't the algorithm know that I don't want to watch this? Doesn't the algorithm know what I watch? It's like that whole thing about like Apple systems programming. Like, no, you don't want to do that.
You're right.
It's like YouTube's like, no, you don't want to watch that.
You want to do it this way.
No, you don't want to watch that. You want to watch this.
And it changes every couple of months. Like just when you think, oh, it's working, like I'm getting good recommendations today, and I'm, it's sort of, and then all of a sudden you're not, and it's just, and it still displays my own videos from my own second channel or the first channel. Like they're under the same login, and it recommends my own videos. Like, come on.
It peeves me to no end that when I'm watching my own video to proof it or whatever, that there's 5 of my videos
on the sidebar.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, oh, I forgot how much I love those videos that I made.
Right.
It's like, yes, it knows that those are my videos. But the reason is, this is the thing about the catch-all. The reason is the algorithm is set up like that because 99.999% of all the people who are using YouTube do not have a big YouTube channel.
Yep.
And if you're a person with 5 followers and you make family videos, the idea of seeing your videos in the recommended, that's like that people, they think that people want to see their own videos recommended.
Yep.
Somehow someone said, no, because 99% of people, they want to see their videos, because that means that they think that everybody who sees their videos seeing these, is going to see all these other videos from them. It's got to have something to do with the idea that it's for the vast majority of people watching videos on YouTube. It's not for like big content creators, So, we fall into these little algorithmic, potholes that are made for other people that we would prefer to opt out of. But that's the thing. It's like I remember when YouTube had all these, like, it was tailor-made, like for what you wanted to see. And we kind of all became YouTubers at a time when, I remember like wind it back to, 2013, 14, if I uploaded a video, all the recommended videos, it's you, Big Clive, and all the other, is like, the algorithm, it made these little communities. And that's kind of what made the YouTubers was back in those days, even before, we had the idea that we were all going to like know each other.
Yeah.
But YouTube kind of did that for us, and it won't do that anymore.
Although there is glimmers of hope. I do tweet occasionally that it, like the recommendation will pop up with a little channel that might have like 100 subscribers or something like that, and he's made like 30 highly polished tutorial videos on like designing designing computers or something like that, and it's fantastic content, and he's only got a couple of 100 subs, so I post that, and it occasionally pops up with a gem like that, but I don't know how it works. Like, it's just very occasionally it'll pop up with a gem. So I still have hope, but there's glimmers of hope occasionally. but that it just, you know, this new great channel, you know, fantastic, but they couldn't get a foothold. Obviously that, like, and they've been making videos for like a year, you know, they've got 30, 50 highly polished videos they've been uploading for a year, and they've got a couple hundred subs, you know, and like... Well,
honestly though, Dave, there's no way that you or I could start a YouTube channel today.
Yeah. Yeah,
there's just no way. There's no way you'd be seen.
No, you would have to get a shout out from all the big channels, you know, and yeah, I don't know.
You know, and I don't know if it's related to all this other stuff that we're talking about, but recent weeks, I am being deluged. I mean, deluged with partnership offers. It's comical.
Oh yeah, like I still get all the time.
5-6 a day, every
day.
day.
5-6 a day. Oh geez, you're getting a flood. Yeah, yep. That's happened to me, but not. It's.
I'm even getting like software developers, manufacturers. Not like the bullshit, you know, Chinese. You know, we've got this new internet toaster we want you to try.
Exactly. Yeah, I still get those daily. Yeah.
You know, like. You know, Black Magic and stuff have been like, it's like, why are you emailing me? It's like I'm not like the one to do a review of like a major product. It's like it's got to be a scam. It's got to be a bait and switch.
Yes, it is. I've done a video on that, and I tweet about that quite often. This new scam? Yes, it'll be Black Magic, and there's all spelling mistakes in it, and it's not the Black Magic website that the email came from, and it's like, you know, come on.
Yeah, it's like there's this prince that needs to move $1 million.
Exactly. No, they're actually channel hijack scams. So what they'll do is that they'll send you a document, or they'll send you an executable if you show interest, and then if you run that, it hijacks your YouTube channel, and boom, you're gone. They take full control, and then they put the crypto spam on there. That's how Linus got his channel just absolutely hacked, like for days. Like his channel's what, got 10 million subs or something, Linus Tech Tips, and yeah, his channel got busted with one of those scams, and oops. Yeah,
gotta be so careful.
Yeah, I know.
I've got crazy security on my systems. It's just it's crazy.
But it bypasses your 2FA. Like I've got, you know, physical hardware dongle keys that you can't log into my account unless you've got the physical hardware dongle key. But it bypasses all that because it uses the cookies on your machine. So once your machine's infected, they can actually change your They can hijack your channel, even bypassing all your 2FA, two-factor authentication stuff. It's scary. It's like, yep. The whole thing could just go. So, yeah. Anyway, I want to show you something scary. I don't know if you've seen this. Please, you may have nightmares. Okay, I'm gonna trigger warning for Fran. Here we go. It's fun. It's technical difference. Share screen.
A horrible picture. We're going to see the picture of horror any second.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Oh no!
Oh!
Oh! Oh no! Is that a 1B? Is that a 1B?
Yeah, I think that's a Saturn 1B at the Huntsville, Alabama. Yep. For those not watching, they're using a crane. They're taking down the Saturn 1B booster, and the chain snaps and it falls on the ground. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're gonna have nightmares, I'm sure.
That is no excuse for that.
Right. Yep. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why they took it down. Don't know, but they. Yeah.
Well, it's not going to go back on display probably now.
Oh no, crunch! It just falls to. It didn't fall that far. It fell maybe 10 meters or something, but.
That's far enough.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Well, somebody.
Don't worry. Just put that flat side against the wall. No one's gonna notice.
Yeah, I'm sure you could display it somewhere.
Oh, you got more. You got other ones there.
Yep.
You
There's
got
that the
other.
famous satellite that's fallen over in the
Oh,
in the clean room because they forgot to put the bolts on it when they did the tipping. So someone said, "Okay, let's
wah,
tip it over
wah,
so we can work on it,"
wah,
and they forgot
wah,
to strap
wah.
it down with the with the bolts, and it just fell off its stand in the clean room.
Shut up, fool! I pity the fool!
So sorry, I had to traumatize you with that, but yeah, that's a Saturn 1B, right? Yeah.
Don't give me no back talk, sucker! Don't make me mad!
I do like me some Mr. T.
Gotta have some tea.
Pity the fool. This van's faster than light, fool.
First name, Mr. Middle name, period. Last name, T.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic 80s. But yeah, that's just, how many of those would be left? Is that the only one? Do you have any idea?
I really don't know. You know, I have no idea.
Yeah, but it's Gonski. Anyway.
Well, it's flat on one side.
It's flat on one side. They can display it in the corner in a museum somewhere.
Push that side up against the wall.
Yeah.
No one will notice.
Have you been to the Kennedy Space Center where they have the Saturn V hanging from the ceiling?
No, I can't go to Florida.
Why?
Well, it's actually a jailable offense for me to use a bathroom in the state of Florida.
Oh God. Yeah, Florida.
Jailable offense.
Jailable offense. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Oh God. Yeah, it's a shame. Anyway, they've got a Saturn V hanging from the roof. So I wanted to say you could probably do the same thing with this. I'm thinking is that the flat side's up, so you can't see it. I'm sure. Oh boy. How big is a 1B compared to a 5? The Saturn V.
Well, it's about the same. It's a little taller. I think it's about the same size as the S1C stage.
Right.
It's just that it was a totally different kind of design. That multi-engine, multi-tank sort of array. That's how they were going to do Saturn. I mean, I think the only reason that they have built the Saturn V around was because of the F1. It was the F1 came along.
Yeah.
But the early designs that von Braun had for Saturn had the clustered tanks, and the multiple arrayed, engines. But yeah, it was that F1 that.
There we go. I love the one in his office with all the models and stuff. It's just fantastic. and the Saturn V is sticking out of the ceiling.
I've never seen any documents or read any books about the model builders at NASA, like the people that made all of the models. And, for decades, I've never been able to learn anything about it. It had to be.
Really? Oh, you've tried, have you? So you've tried to get info on it? I'm always looking, especially in older books and everything, but it's just not the kind of thing that's ever surfaced as like a point of research. I've never heard of any books published about it, or even like photographs or write-ups about the art department, because obviously, there were whole staffs of people that built all these scale models. Yep.
The only thing I found, and I have some films, I've transferred a couple of them that show the model building process for the wind tunnel testing, which was where they make cast metal models to put in supersonic wind tunnel testing, and but the actual plastic and balsa wood models that they made for inside the departments have absolutely no clue. But wouldn't it be amazing to see where the department that made the models?
Yes. It'd be
how,
great.
how amazing would that have been?
Oh, yeah, because they made
yeah.
some fantastic stuff, and it's just all just lost in the annals of time. It's all just gone.
Gonski.
Yep. Gonski. So are we, Fran, because our amp hour's up, unfortunately. As usual, we waffled on about space, YouTube. A little bit of electronics in there, a little bit.
Did we?
But it was
No, a
old
little bit,
tubes.
maybe.
You know, it was tubes.
That's ancient history.
Yep. So is it tubes there or tubes?
Tube.
Tube.
Tubes.
Tube.
Tubes.
Tube. It's not tube.
I'd say tubes.
It's
Right?
not tubes. Yeah.
I've got the Philly accent, so
Right.
people complain about my pronunciation all the time.
Right. Soldering.
Yeah.
Is it soldering
people-
in Philly? Is it soldering?
It's solder.
Solder.
It's always been solder in America. I don't know why the British love to. Oh, it's so funny. It's solder. Yeah, well, it's not aluminium. It's aluminum.
No,
You're
it's
saying
aluminium.
extra letters in there.
Yep.
It's like
The age-old argument.
pronunciation. It's like it's solder.
All right.
And tubes and solder.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Fran, for filling in for the Gamels, who is away. He'll be back eventually. All right. Thanks, Fran.
Sure.
Catch you next time.
Bye.